Heard after a three-car crash in Derby this morning. Sedgwick County Dispatch says the crash happened around 11 o'clock at the intersection of East 55th and South Rock. Two people were taken to the hospital with critical injuries, two with serious injuries. One person had minor injuries but refused treatment at the scene.
We don't know if speed is a factor in the accident. Witnesses on scene said that two vehicles were stopped at the intersection of southbound Rock Road at 55th, and a third vehicle drove southbound and struck a vehicle.
Sergeant Slaughter says three of the victims are children. One was the driver of one of those cars involved. We were also on the scene of a crash in Northwest